Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of TheCaliEffect, King of Games. And today, we're going to be talking about a very exciting topic. Should Solemn Judgement be relieved of its limited status? Should it be brought to 3 inside of the next format coming up? Now, if you guys want to see a card reviewed, then go ahead and post down below in the comment section. What do you guys think about Solemn Judgement? Should it be limited? Should it be at 3 and why? And also go ahead and place the card that you guys want to see me review about it being limited, banned, or even off the list completely, as well as the hashtag Forbidden List series. Without further ado, I present to you, oh that's right, should Solemn Judgement be at 3 within the next upcoming list? Now, before we can get deep into a card analysis of Solemn Judgement, let's talk about the counter trap itself. It is a counter trap that debuted in Metal Raiders, the very second set inside of the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. So yes, this card is one of the most oldest competitive cards inside of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. Its effect reads, when a monster would be summoned, or when a spell or trap card is activated, pay half your life points, negate the activation or summon, and if you do, destroy that card. Solemn Judgement is an extremely powerful card, but would you believe it if I told you Solemn Judgement wasn't a great card until a lot later? Yes, Solemn Judgement did debut, I want to say in around 2002, but it wasn't until 2006 Solemn Judgement got to see its very first play, being inside of a Beast Down deck that would require you to summon monsters like Berserk Gorilla, then Mega Morph your Berserk Gorilla, making it 4,000 attack points, but only after you have Solemn Judgement to prevent your opponent from using their effects, and thus triggering the effect of Mega Morph to double your monster's attack. Solemn Judgement didn't see significant play in that format as Dope format was around, and that was easily the best deck, but where it really came to shine was around in 2008 when Teleport Dark Arm would come around and summon a Stardust Dragon, a Colossal Fighter, and a Dark Arm Dragon, as well as Solemn Judgments to protect the World Impression investment. Also in Gladiator Beast format, Solemn Judgement was extremely powerful because a 2100 attack 4-star Gladiator Beast Lucari, backed up by 5 back row being War Chariots and Solemn Judgments, were pretty pivotal at stopping everything your opponent would come to in fruition. So Solemn Judgement was an extremely powerful card only years later after life points started to matter less and less. And that is a big problem with Solemn Judgement, is we have to assess that if life points still matter inside of this Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. Now, some of you guys are probably thinking, yes, TheCaliEffect, of course life points matter. One of my friends' life points were just shot on the street by... Wait, that's not how life points work. But of course life points matter. They are the bare essentials, the basic necessities that you need in order to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game correctly. Without life points, you wouldn't be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is the objective, to reduce your opponent's life points to 0. Now, I don't necessarily mean it in that aspect as do life points really matter to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, but certain card effects do require you to use or pay a certain amount of life points to activate their effects, thus being Solemn Judgement, meaning that is life points really worth using for cards like Solemn Judgement, or do they really matter? Are they a very precious resource? Now, that could be done in an entirely different video, and I might just plan on doing that of if life points matter video a little later in the future. But for both counter arguments, I'm going to say yes and no, and we're going to be talking about that in 2 different sections of this video, so let's get right into it. Diving into this really quick, the yes argument of life points really mattering, being a precious resource, Solemn Judgement would not be as powerful as a card look in the side of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, because looking into it, hypothetically, if your opponent can consistently drop a monster that will inflict at least 4,000 damage any given time, being able to Solemn Judgement your opponent and reducing your life points into this danger zone where your opponent can then fully take advantage and outright win the game, doesn't really matter what your opponent or what you are stopping, because you always putting yourself in the threat of losing. If life points don't really matter, then yes, Solemn Judgement's a perfect card, because paying those life points for an expenditure of a Solemn Judgement card means that you're probably stopping your opponent's big monster, and they can't be able to place that monster or place those card effects on the side of the field that would really damage you or put you in a game-threatening sense. Now, Solemn Judgement does have a couple of other things that we really want to talk about, is what cards it's specifically negating. Inside of a format where Solemn Judgement can negate the most powerful cards, and cards are really heavily monster or spell or trap dependent, meaning that you need a certain card on your side of the field, I feel like Solemn Judgement can be an extremely extremely powerful card inside of that format. But in other formats where Solemn Judgement is not a more powerful card, or the opponent has multiple cards to play no matter what, Solemn Judgement is a more thought process like card. Regardless, Solemn Judgement could be at 3 in a format where life points really matter, because it would make it a terrible card or a non-desirable card, and it really can't be inside a format where Solemn Judgement, where life points are completely expendable and big monsters are really hard to come by. Now, fortunately for Yu-Gi-Oh, we're going towards a mixture of both of those, where big monsters are really easy to come by, but life points still are very, let's just say, inexpensive right now, and that could shape the impact of how Solemn Judgement would be coming off the list, meaning that it's a possibility that it could come to 3, and it's a possibility that it could stay in 1. Looking at the OCG, it's been at 1 for a very long time, and it's a solid, consistent card of showing up in players' decks and also not showing up in the top decks. I think that it's in a nice spot where it is, but what do you guys think where Solemn Judgement should be? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. If you guys want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and get this video a like. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes, as well as comment down below what card you guys would want me to talk about next, of course with the hashtag Forbidden List series. Please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to destroy that subscribe button and notification bell, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.